Hi, this is Amber with Trail Addict, and I wanted to bring you guys the top 10 kid-friendly hikes in the Black Hills of South Dakota. So these are in no particular order, and I understand there are a wide range of ages for kids, and every kid has different abilities. So I'm just going to go through and tell you a little bit about each trail, and so you can decide, make the choice for yourself on whether or not it's good for your kids. I am of the belief that any trail can be good for kids. So don't let the length or the difficulty scare you. Kids are resilient, and some of the best adventures are on challenging hikes. So don't be afraid of doing the longer hikes with the kids. So with that being said, the first trail is Mount Roosevelt. This is a short trail. It's under a mile long. It's kind of a lollipop loop. It's by Deadwood. It's kind of behind the lodge in Deadwood, which is a casino up there. So it goes out, nice short hike, not too much elevation gain, but really nice views. And there's a friendship tower, it's called there, where you can actually climb up inside the tower, which kids absolutely love, and you can see views for miles up there. So that's a great trail for kids, even small kids. There's picnic tables there, so you can make a day of it, bring a picnic lunch or dinner, and just kind of hang out there, enjoy the views, and let the kids explore the tower. Trail number 2 for kid-friendly hikes in the Black Hills is Grace Coolage. This is one of my favorites, and my kids always love doing this trail. It's right by Center Lake, so we usually will, pack a cooler, bring the paddle boards, bring swimsuits, and go swimming and hang out at the lake afterwards. But this trail, there isn't much elevation gain at all. It's pretty flat. It is like a walk-in fishing area, so if you like to fish, bring fishing poles. But it crosses over the creek several times. Most of them have like bridges or things set up to make the creek crossings pretty easy, but kids love it. It keeps them entertained. This is a little bit longer trail if you do the out and back. It's over 5.5 miles, but of course you can turn around at any point. There is, during the summer months, end of July, August, you will find a lot of raspberries along this trail, which my kids love that too, just snacking as you go. So this trail is great to cool off in the creek as you go, play in the water, and like I said, you can make it as short as you want anytime you'd like to turn around. So number 3 is Little Devil's Tower. This is down near Sylvan Lake, and my kids were whining on this trail. It's about 3 miles long out and back, so not too long, but it was a little bit boring for my kids until we got up towards the top. And then it's like a boulder scramble, which they really enjoyed that. So it is a little bit difficult, and there isn't like fences at the top or anything. So with younger kids, I think I'd be more nervous that they would fall off the rocks at the top. So just keep that in mind, keep an eye on the kids. You might have to motivate them a little bit till you get towards the top. But then especially the older kids will really like that boulder scrambling at the top, which is pretty fun. So the number 4 trail is the Notch Trail in the Badlands, which is just east of the Black Hills, but I still count it as the Black Hills because it's close enough to go do a day hike. So the Notch Trail is about 1.5 miles out and back. And the thing that my kids really like about it is there's a ladder that you can climb part way. And then just the Badlands in general, it kind of feels like another world almost. It's a lot different than any other parts of the Black Hills. And there's lots of places to explore and things that the kids can climb and run around and be crazy. So that's a really good trail for the kids. And there's a couple other trails, the Window Trail, the Door Trail, that are like right in that same parking lot that are short. They're kind of like a boardwalk that you can also do at the same time and kind of make a day of it, spend the day in the Badlands. So yeah, if you get a chance, take the kids to the Badlands for sure. They'll love it. Number 5 is Little Elk Creek, located near Piedmont, South Dakota. This trail follows the creek most of the way. It's like 5.5 miles out and back, but of course you can turn around at any time if you don't want to go that far. But it follows the creek, goes back and forth across the creek a little bit, and there's plenty of rocks to kind of climb on towards the top, getting in the creek and swimming a little bit, wading in, and just letting kids be kids. And this is a great one for dogs as well. So yeah, you can add on to this if you want to go farther than 5.5 miles. You can actually take it all the way up to Dalton Lake and go swimming or fishing up there or camp up there or whatever. So this is probably the one trail that me and my kids do the most often, just because it's close, it's convenient, and like I said, what kid doesn't love playing in the water? Okay, number 6 is Spring Creek Loop, which is actually part of the Flume Trail. So it's located near Sheridan Lake, just outside of Rapid City, and it's just under 3 miles, but this loop I think kind of has the best of the Flume Trail in this loop. It follows the creek for a little bit, and then you kind of make a climb up. You've got views of Sheridan Lake at one point, and then the coolest part, the part that my kids like the most, is there's actually a tunnel that you get to go through. So the Spring Creek Loop is short enough and has enough things to keep the kids interested. Trail number 7 is Sunday Gulch Trail, which is located near Sylvan Lake. You kind of have to follow the Sylvan Lake Shore Trail for a little ways to get to where this trailhead is. And to be honest, the trail is like a 4-mile loop, but a lot of the trail is a little bit boring. My kids did whine a little bit on it until you get to the part where it has like the big boulders with the handrails, and there's water, like some little waterfalls coming down that. It's actually a really great trail to do like on a hot day. It's shaded in that area. If you don't want to do the full 4-mile loop, just going down the rocks and then coming back up would be great, and the kids would really like that. And of course it's right at Sylvan Lake, so being able to go swimming afterwards, or paddle boarding or kayaking, or just hanging out on the beach and playing in the water is always a bonus when you're hiking with kids, something else fun for them to do. Number 8 is the Sylvan Lake Shore Trail. So obviously it's at Sylvan Lake and it just loops around the lake. It's pretty wide and flat for most of it, not much elevation gain. When you get around the backside, there's a little bit more climbing and kind of rock hopping that you need to do. And there's some cool, like there's a little bit of a waterfall at times coming down off the rocks, and kind of a crag that you crawl through. So there's some neat things that kids like. This is a great one for even young kids can handle this, because like I said, it's less than a mile. And being right at Sylvan Lake, doing that quick and then going swimming or hanging out on the beach and making sandcastles or whatever is fun for kids. Number 9 is the Deerfield Trail, specifically starting from Silver City. The Deerfield Trail is 23 miles total, starting at Deerfield Lake and going over close to Pactola. The best part of this trail, in my opinion, and the part that I think the kids like the most, is starting at Silver City and just doing an out and back to the west from there. It reminds me a little bit of the Grace Coolage. There's a lot of creek crossing back and forth across the creek, and little bridges and some bigger bridges to get across. There are a couple spots where you have to kind of rock hop to get across the creek, but kids like this, and it is close enough to Pactola where, once again, if you want to go swimming after, it's super convenient. So the final trail, number 10, is Cathedral Spires. So this is located near Sylvan Lake again, and this trail is pretty short. It's under 2 miles out and back, but there's just a lot of neat scenery with the spires that you're walking through, and a lot of cool places the kids can kind of explore and climb around the rocks. And my kids just really like this trail. It isn't too steep, it isn't too long, and you don't need a lot to motivate the kids on this trail. So this, my kids always like this one. So that's the 10 trails that I recommend that are kid-friendly, family-friendly in the Black Hills. So just keep in mind, don't be in a rush. Give kids time to explore. You know, if they want to check out bugs or plants or rocks along the way, just make sure you allow plenty of time for that. And for me, I always bring fruit snacks to help motivate them when they get tired. Make sure you bring plenty of water, things to drink, and snacks. My kids always think that's the best part of hiking is the snacks and the drinks. So, but the most important thing is just have fun, get your kids out there and show them the appreciation for hiking and for getting out in nature.